Come here, quit running, honey.
Okay, now okay.
Mommy can't watch you over there. You know, Mama misses your big brother so much still.
Yeah.
He would have been a good big brother to you. It was 1999. He was 2 months old. I was 17 at the time. And when I picked him up, I knew he felt different. His lips was like a bluish purple. And then his arms just kind of fell down beside him. Real limp. He just felt different. Not my baby that I pick up all the time. It's just different.
And I remember the call. When she called, and she told me, she said he wasn't breathing. So I kind of panicked, and I said, hang up and call 911. I'm on my way.
Before any test done or anything, it was almost immediately they were gunning for me. I vaguely remember my mom and them trying to tell me I needed to go home because they thought they were going to arrest me before. But I wouldn't. I didn't want to leave that last day, so I stayed.
It was on Mother's Day. And all she wanted to do was hold her child.
So I got to hold him through his last breath. At first I wanted to have hope that it was all one big nightmare and I'd wake up the next morning and it'd all be over. But it didn't happen like that.
This young mother sits in a Texas prison. Doctors told investigators they suspected shaken baby syndrome.
Shaken baby syndrome is reportedly the leading cause of death for children who are abused in the United States.
Shaken baby syndrome refers to a constellation or a combination of injuries seen in infants primarily that have been interpreted to be the result of violent whiplash shaking as a form of child abuse. In particular, shaken baby syndrome classically is thought of to include subdural hemorrhage, which is bleeding inside the head but outside of the brain, and retinal hemorrhages, which are bleeding in the lining layer in the back of the eyes. And interestingly, the third factor has never been universally agreed upon. So subdural hemorrhage, retinal hemorrhage, and frequently with this nebulous third factor, which oftentimes is brain swelling. It is just intuitively obvious that violent shaking of a small child, especially an infant, is not safe and should be avoided at all costs. But in my experience, there are many physicians who invoke it too readily. And when they make the diagnosis, they frequently express it in terms that this group of findings must be from shaking, can only be from shaking. There are children, especially infants, who can have some of these findings, in particular subdural hemorrhage, that comes from other causes besides injury.
To hear people say that I shook my baby, it was devastating. That people could think that I could do something so horrible.
She didn't do it. She was innocent and she was in jail. It was a terrible, terrible tragedy.
She has hired another attorney, Charles Ports.
I was working with the attorney, Charles Ports, and the medical examiner at this point in time was new. He went back and looked at everything, and at that time, his conclusion for cause of death was undetermined. He could not say that the baby died of shaken baby syndrome. The child died of natural causes.
Daniel did not die from trauma to the head. Even more shocking, medical records reveal the emergency room made a mistake.
They put an oxygen tube down the kid's throat into his stomach rather than his lungs.
It caused a whole lot more damage.
And since there was bleeding in the head, everybody just assumed, aha, shaken baby syndrome.
Charles would not let it go. It took us 3 years to get Brandy out of prison.
When I found out that I wasn't being accused of child abuse, I had so many feelings going through me. Just looking forward to that day that I walked out free and the world would know that I didn't do anything wrong. Benjamin, you're gonna fall and hurt yourself. Don't worry. Well, I do worry because I'm the mom. I'm thankful for what I have now. I have been able to start a new family, but there's still times that I look back and feel like I've lost 5 years of my life that I'll never get back. And it still feels like every day I'm making up for that time.